While Russia continues attacking Ukraine, destroying cities one by one. Lots of people, lots of countries around the world are putting sanctions against it, and various companies are terminating businesses with them. How long could it take for either country to give up? Okay, Priyanka, I'm wondering which city has been destroyed. See, the thing is this. Even in the Indian media, they will have this. I remember during the so-called anti-CAA protests, there was this one protest that was going on. Like 15 people were protesting with some placards and banners, and there, these drums, and they were doing playing the drums and all that. So 15 people are protesting, and there are 50 cameras around them, and they are portraying this as a nationwide protest. They manufactured this entire narrative in this manner. 15-20 people protesting somewhere and 50 cameras around them, and all the media channels are reporting it 24 by 7, as if some huge protest is happening throughout the country. These were all artificial, astroturfed protests, but they were portrayed as nationwide spontaneous protests. Now, once again, in Ukraine, we are seeing these various reports, various clips on the internet, on social media, of this building destroyed here and that building destroyed there, and some city block that is damaged and all that. And these selective clips are being used to portray, to create the impression that the Russians are destroying entire cities. That is simply not the case. The Russians are doing their best not to damage any civilian infrastructure. The electricity is still running everywhere. The internet is still running everywhere. All telecommunications are working fine. Buses are plying. Trains are running. So there is no, I mean, it's a complete lie that the Russians are destroying cities one by one. Not a single city has been destroyed. Yeah, there has been some damage to some buildings. They've taken out certain buildings with targeted strikes, such as one of the buildings in which the Azov neo-Nazi division had their headquarters. That was taken out. And in case the Ukrainians are shelling the Russians from within an apartment complex, they will have to retaliate, right? So some damage will happen, but they are by no means destroying cities one by one. That's simply not the case. But that's the impression they are trying to create on social media and in the mainstream media. So these are just lies. It's just propaganda. It is designed to turn people's opinion against Russia and in favor of NATO. That's just the propaganda war that we are witnessing, and it's very easy to mislead people by with this. Now the sanctions and all that, various companies terminating business. How long will it take for either country to give up? The Ukrainians, see, I foresee the military objectives of the Russian intervention being met within the next 10 days. That's what I foresee. So today is the 5th of March. Foresee, I believe that by the 15th of March, most of the military objectives of the Russian intervention in Ukraine will be achieved. That's what I think. I know it's a fool's errand to make predictions, but let me just put a prediction out there. I know how it feels. I know, I have experienced this myself firsthand, that I make a prediction and then I look foolish. But here, let me go again. So I think in the next 10 days, the military objectives will be achieved. Now the sanctions have been put on Russia. We know that they've dumped every possible sanction on Russia. They've essentially given Russia nothing more to lose. That's what they've done, right? So they have essentially told Putin that no matter, I mean, you can now go and conquer Poland if you want, and there's no more sanctions we can throw on you because we've already thrown everything at you, the entire kitchen sink. And Russia is not going to give up because of the sanctions. Mr. Putin has been planning this, I believe, since for at least 10 years, right? So it was not done 10 years ago because the right pieces on the chessboard were not in place. So the planning an invasion like this, an operation like this, takes time. It has to be done meticulously. So I believe the planning has been in progress for at least 10 years. So all of these steps that the Western nations have taken, that the US has taken essentially, have been foreseen. All of these calculations would have been, all of these things would have been calculated and taken into account when looking at the pros and cons of launching an operation like this. So there is no surprise that Mr. Putin has faced. He would have known that all these sanctions would be placed on Russia, the SWIFT thing would be cut off, and whatever else. So he has anticipated this. He's prepared for it, and there's a bigger reconfiguration of the world order that is in process right now.